Hello, welcome. I thought the crystal balls were very appropriate today because we're doing our live Q&A, the Wednesday Q&A. So I'm really excited to have you here. I'm just going to share this over in my group, and I know if you have not been on one of my live Q&As before or one of my weekly videos, then come into my e-commerce Backstage Pass group. I've actually got a free group which you can join, and I'm just going to share this video over there. So give me 1 second to share it. Oops. I've just popped into the wrong section. So the thing is that I am really excited at the moment, actually. Besides the fact of doing these every day, I've got lots of things going on today. I've got some questions that I want to answer. If you're coming on here live, you can ask questions down below and I'll answer any of your questions. I'm happy to answer anything about e-commerce whatsoever. So just ask away and I'll answer any of your questions. If you want me to answer a question about a particular website of yours, then please put the link in there as well, because then I'll actually be able to have a look at that. I'm more than happy to have a quick look. I've got my laptop here at the same time, so I can always have a look and give you advice. Now that's sharing across there. Fantastic. So it's taking its time. I don't know why. Here we go. Post. It's slow. Oh, that's why. I'm not thinking the wrong thing. Okay, so now it's posting. Wonderful. So thank you for being here. I can't believe it's already halfway through October. The year is going so quickly. I don't know where it's gone, but you know, if you're in e-commerce and you're trying to get your business going, then you would understand that right now, being October the 12th, that there's only a few more weeks to go until the holiday season. So it tends to be a really busy time of the year, getting more sales. That's the time that we really want to get a lot of people on board buying from us and getting those sales in the door. If you know anything about my business, I'm starting a new e-commerce store at the moment. It's the photo shoot is this Saturday, and then I should be live in about 2 weeks with that website. So just doing a few little touches with that. If you're in London by any chance on the 25th of this month, of the 25th of October, come to my free event. Just go to meetup.com and look for London e-commerce success. It's called London e-commerce success. Find that group, and that's it's got a big yellow like a yellowy green logo, and that's my free event that I've got coming up on the 25th of this month. So come along to that. I'll be talking live, doing a presentation and a Q&A. I've also got lots of things going on. I've just started my new inner circle, and in that inner circle it's a $1 trial, so come and join that. Go to carolinebelinska.com/inner circle. Join that for $1 for a 1-month trial, and in there I'll be going into a lot more details about my personal shop that I'm setting up. I give you all the back end information in a lot more detail than I do on these free Facebook Lives. So anyone that's coming on now, hey, if anyone's on here now and you want to ask questions about e-commerce, please go ahead and put a question in the box below. I've got some questions that have been sent through to me, so I'll be going through those. A lot of people, because of the time that I do this at, I try to do it as late as possible in the day, but it's still very early in Europe, in the US, and in Australia it's the middle of the night. So I do get a lot of questions asked to me to be read out. I do also answer questions in my free group in e-commerce Backstage Pass, but sometimes a text message going back and forth doesn't give the same information, so that's why I do the Facebook Lives. Okay, so I had a question from Chris, and he asked, do you help Amazon sellers? And that's a really great question. I actually, I do help Amazon sellers, but not on Amazon. That's not what I specialize in. I've also got, this is a great time to bring it up, I've got a new podcast that I started called eCommerce, ECOMMX, so it's ECOMMX, so it's double M. And it's a podcast on iTunes, and there's also a YouTube video version of it. I'm doing that with a business partner, so a partner on that co-host called Rachel Wages, and she's taking care of all the Amazon stuff, and I take care of all the other e-commerce stuff. But how I do help Amazon sellers, Chris, is that what I do is I actually will help get them onto Shopify or other platforms, but Shopify is definitely the best. So that's how I help them. So Rachel takes care in our team of the actual Amazon sellers on Amazon, and I'll get people onto other platforms. I'm actually, I think it's actually coming out tomorrow. There's a very successful podcast called Amazon All Stars, and I did an interview with Matt the other day. I spoke about it yesterday, the day before in a Facebook Live, and he interviewed me for that. And what we did is I actually helped him with his shop. So he's very successful on Amazon and he wanted to get on Shopify. I helped him with that, and then we actually did an interview where we actually went through all the things that I took him through. So that should be coming out either, I think it's this Friday or next Friday, and that will actually go through exactly what I do with Amazon sellers. Next question from Samantha. This is a good one. So I think Samantha's someone that's been watching a lot of my Facebook Lives, because she said, if you're traveling so much, how do you take care of the returns in your new business? So my new business is a drop shipping business. So I don't have any stock. It's all print on demand and drop shipping. I also will be including some new products that are not print on demand. They're other products, but they will be drop shipped as well. Now, how do I take care of the returns? There's a few different ways you can take care of returns inside a dropshipping business or any sort of e-commerce business if you don't want to be stuck in that place, because you might not have dropshipping, you might have a warehouse, but you might not be able to get stock back there. There's a million reasons why, or maybe you travel with whatever you're selling. Maybe it's something that you purchase along the way. Some people just buy straight from Walmart and then sell it onto people on eBay and things like that. There's many different ways that you can have an e-commerce store, but how do you take care of the returns for that? So there's a few things. My particular business that I'm doing with the actual print on demand and the drop shipping, they will take care of the returns. So the return address, when someone has something wrong, I will get that sent straight back to the actual manufacturer. Now, there's other ways to do this. Let's say, for instance, you want to, you don't have that situation. Maybe what you could, or it's a different country. That's another really good example. So you might sell inside, say you're based in America and you sell to Europe and Australia. Someone's sending back a product all the way, and then you saying that you'll pay the return can sometimes end up costing you way too much than the actual product of just sending them a new one. So one thing that you can do, and I know businesses that do this, is that they will have like an office, like a co-working space that takes mail. There's lots of different places that do this. They'll take your mail, and then once they say to you, you can actually have them, and it's certain companies, not everyone will do this, but some of them will say, oh, there's a package here from blah, blah, blah. And you can mark that off and say, okay, well, just throw that in the bin, and then you can refund the person or send them a new product. I do know one Amazon seller that I know from just over time, and he was telling me he has like a business and he sells things like fridges and things like that. And he's actually had a fridge being returned. And instead of him getting the fridge back, because it was through Amazon, instead of getting the fridge taken back to the Amazon warehouse where they have to take care of it, repack it properly, make sure, find out what's wrong with it, blah, blah, blah. He actually just rung up a courier company, like a delivery company, got them to pick it up, and then he told that company, just ditch it, get rid of it. They could have kept it, whatever, because even though it was like, I don't know, maybe a $400 or $500 item, it was cheaper for him to just ditch that item, refund them the money, then trying to go through the whole process of giving back their money, checking on the product, what's wrong with it, things like that. So it might be cheaper for you to actually just say, for instance, if you're based in America and you've sold something to Australia, and then the person says, I want to return it, it might be cheaper for you to say, okay, we'll send it to this office in Australia, and then we'll refund your money, or we'll send you a new item, rather than you paying for the shipping all the way back to the US and then a new item all the way back, and then you just get rid of the item and that's it. So if anyone's getting on now and you want to ask questions, this is Wednesday Q&A. So any questions you have, please ask me in the chat. I'm happy to answer any questions. I do have questions that have been sent through from people on different time zones, so I'm answering those now. But if I see questions, I'm more than happy to answer them for you. So Karen is saying, what is your Instagram strategy? Great question from Karen. So my new podcast that I have launched yesterday, the 3rd episode went out, the one that I'm doing with Rachel, eCommerce, the podcast. That podcast, today we actually pre-recorded an interview with an amazing guy called Chris Jones, and he was talking about Instagram strategies, and he's doing certain things, and a lot of the things he's doing, I'm doing the same thing. It was a great interview. It's great to know that the sort of things that I do are the same sort of things that other people are doing. So, and he's getting a lot of success, I'm getting a lot of success. Your Instagram strategy can be different in different businesses. There's like a general rule that you have to follow, but generally speaking, that rule, there are little bits that come off it along the way. One thing that you do have to understand is that Instagram does have an algorithm like Facebook, because Facebook bought out Instagram. So there are a few things now that are similar to the way Facebook works. So a good example is when you post something on Instagram, it's very important that you're posting at the correct time of day. That's the first piece of advice I'll give you. And the reason for that is that your Instagram post only stays, if it's relevant, it goes up a little bit, but it will just keep on going down. So other posts will go above yours and just keep pushing yours down and down. So for instance, if you were to post a picture at 11 o'clock at night in the time zone where your people were, and everyone's in bed because people are over the age of, let's say they're over the age of 50 and they don't look at Instagram after 11 o'clock, then that has just been absolutely irrelevant. There's no point posting that. So think about your time zone, think about the people that you're posting for. There are general times that they say are good times, so you can go and find like these blog posts that say these are the general times. However, I personally, my team looks after a lot of Instagram accounts for a lot of different clients. So we actually have an Instagram package where we will take care of the Instagram account. Part of that package, what we do is we're actually posting at the correct time. So we've got statistics, we've got analytics, and we're looking at the times that the most amount of people are looking at Instagram for that audience, because you can have a fashion label and the next person can have a fashion label, and you might find slightly different times or very different times. So it's very important that you're going after your target market at the right time. At the very beginning, you do just need to follow other people's advice and look at the general times. They might say 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And if you look at the times, it can be very confusing. But once you actually start to understand the times that you should be posting, you have to stick to those times. So one really good tool to use is eCommerce. That's one that we use. I use a few different tools, but for different reasons. But eCommerce, once you actually sign up, you can start to see the times that posting is actually really good. Another part of my strategy is, Another part of my strategy that I started doing a very long time ago, probably over a year ago, was I saw a lot of people, what they were doing was just going out and just liking photos of other people and following them and just liking their photos, and then that was it, and expecting people to be engaged. And I realized a year ago, before it actually was, now you can't do that at all, but even back then I realized that was not the right way to go. And so the strategy I was using a year ago is still the right one now, and it's more important than ever before. So instead of just going around and liking people's photos and following them, engage with them. And how I realized this was, one day I was looking and I said, I've got 20 likes on a photo and I've got 1 comment. Well, what do we do as human beings is that we go straight for the comments, don't we? Someone left a comment. It's like on Facebook. It's exactly the same thing. Someone left a comment. When, you sort of say, okay, I got that many likes. Yeah, so you look at how many likes you got, but the comments are the ones that you really, really notice. So, and you engage with that. So you engage back with that person. So one strategy I recommend for Instagram, building a following, is that you will go and you find your competitors or where your target audience is. So it might not be a direct competitor, but it might be someone that has your target audience. That will depend on what sort of business you have. So if you have a business that's a new emerging market, there might not be a competitor, but there might be, you might say, well, everyone that drives a Mercedes needs to use my product. So you go after Mercedes on Instagram as an example. But if you're a clothing brand and you do clothing for 25-year-old girls for nightclubs, then you'll find other competitors that sell clothes like that as well. Now, you go and find that particular, let's say you've got something and you're selling it to people that own a Mercedes-Benz. Then what you do, you go to the Mercedes Instagram account or anyone that sells anything to do with Mercedes, and you would go to that Instagram account. You'll find their followers, people that are already following them. And here's the trick. The trick is, don't just go to their followers. Look at their images and look at people that have already commented on their image, because those people are already engaged. So they're more likely to engage back faster because they are people that want to engage on Instagram. Because if you just look at their followers, they can have 1 million followers and only 5% of them are engaged. So you're wasting your time with all these people that are not engaged on a regular basis. So go straight for each image, go for the image and just say, look down at all the people that have made comments, go to that person's account, follow them, like their photos, and comment on at least 2 of their photos. And don't make it fake. If you don't like the photos, don't comment on them, and then go back and just keep doing that. So that is the fastest way to get engaged followers, is by following and commenting on accounts of people who are already engaged with your competitors. Mark is asking, so anyone who's coming on, and just so then you know, this is a live Q&A, so I'm answering questions from people who are from other places around the world and not on this time zone. But if you have questions, please leave a question below and I'll get to you as I'm going through these questions. So Mark's asking, what is one thing I should change on my site immediately? Mark, huge question. What should you change immediately? One thing I would say that you need to make sure, and I find this the easiest way to explain it to people, your website needs to be your best salesperson. So if you had a business, if you had a real business, maybe you do, maybe you don't, maybe you never want it, but imagine you had a shop, a storefront, and you had someone working there for you. What would you expect that person to say and do to sell for you? And think about that, and then treat your website like that. Maybe you started your business because you saw a need in the market because no one else was doing it as well as what you think you can do it. So think about those experiences that you've had. What was it that you expected along the way from other people? So make sure your website's saying that. It's screaming it. It has to say that. So I had an example the other week. A lady I was speaking to, when we got on the phone, she showed me her website, and then we got on the phone, and what she was saying about her brand, you could tell, like, she's passionate, she loves what she does, she knows her product inside out. And then I looked at her website, and her website didn't say that. She just had someone come along and write some pretty words and, explain some pictures on there. But I said to her straight away, I bet you are amazing in your business, because she had a shop as well. I said, I bet you're your best salesperson. And she went, oh, well, and she, didn't want to brag, but you could tell that she really was. It's her brand. She knows it inside out. I said, but your website doesn't actually say that. And then once I said that, everything clicked, and she said, okay, now I understand. Your website needs to act as if it's a salesperson. It has to act as if it's talking to someone and talking to one person. So what you need to change immediately, Mark, I haven't seen your website, so I can't say it's exactly this, but make sure your website's talking to people, and make sure that your unique selling position is what's standing out. So one of my clients that works with me, he makes hand knitted clothes, and they are divine. The clothes are absolutely divine. I've spoken about him lots of times. And we have to put on there, it's handmade, it travels well, no dry cleaning needed, things like that. And those are the things that really need to stand out, because if someone went into a shop and the shop assistant was saying you have to buy this dress, this top, then those are the things that the shop assistant would be saying, oh yeah, you know, this top is amazing because it doesn't need dry cleaning, and you know what, it travels really, really well, look, and should show, look, it doesn't get scrunched up when you actually travel with it, and all of those things it should be saying. The website needs to say that as well. So the one thing that I would say immediately to change on your website is to make sure that those things are actually working for you, that your words are actually coming across and your unique selling position is coming across. So Karim asked me, he actually sent me through his website, so I did have a look at it, and he sells female clothes, and he had actually asked, I can't get sales, what am I doing wrong? So he sent that through to me earlier today. I had a quick look at the website, and the first thing I can say, Karim, there's a few things, but the main thing I think is your images. You really need to work on your images. You need to have images that stand out. You're trying to sell to, you know, girls around, from what I can see from the clothing, it's somewhere between 20 and 30 years old. I really suggest that you fix up your pictures, because girls at that age, well, anyone now, we expect good images. Our phones have got better graphics than ever before. We need to have better images. But that sort of age group of girls, they're very much about the way things look. And they want to know that they're buying the best, the thing that looks the best, the thing that's going to... And that's actually everyone. You know, I'm saying that because you sell to that age group. But if you're selling to 40-year-olds or if you're selling to 50-year-olds, it would be the same story, really. Fix your images, because currently I can see that they're not professional. You've had them done like at home somewhere. The backgrounds don't look professional. If you can't afford to get professional photos, which these days there are a lot of ways to get them done cheaply, but if you can't afford them, white wall, really good lighting, and make sure that you're taking photos with a good camera. A lot of the phones now have great cameras, but at the moment your photos, you've got like things in the background, you can see that you're in like a house, and it just doesn't look very professional. So change your images first of all, and then come back to me and we'll talk about the other things. So that's it. I'm actually extremely tired. I've got so much going on with my own business. Anyone who's been following my 500k challenge, and if you haven't, go and read my blog, carolineblonska.com/blog, and you'll find, it should be 2 blogs ago, I'm doing a challenge for myself. I'm going to earn $500,000 in this new business, and it's all about working less than 5 hours a week in this business. And this week I haven't put in my 5 hours yet, so I've got to get back to work and get onto that. I've had many other things going on. I'm moving and everything else going on in my life, but I will be getting that up and running. Today I actually am putting on, which I'm just in the process of at the moment, I'm actually putting up a new landing page on that website with a coupon code for a discount, because I should be launched in about 2 weeks. And I want to give away some, get people signed up on my list and give away a voucher for a discount. The discount that I'm giving is 40% off. It's pretty much, actually it's all my profit. There's no profit left after that, but I'm not doing this as a Facebook ad. I'm doing it purely through organic. So anyone who signs up for that, so I'll do that until ads start running, and then I'll turn that discount off. But because I'm not spending any money on ads, then I'm not actually losing any money if people sign up. I'm just collecting email addresses, is the way I'm seeing it. So come and join my inner circle if you want to know more about my 500k challenge, if you want to know how I'm actually going about setting things up, the sort of apps that I use, the systems that I put in place. I'm putting that all inside my inner circle. Inside that inner circle, I'll be talking to everyone, not just on like Facebook Lives like this, but in workshops, on webinars where people can actually talk to me live as well. So that all kicks off in the next couple of days, and everything's happening. If you've got questions after watching this video, just leave a question underneath this video, and I always keep an eye on the videos and I can reply to any questions even after the live video is finished. But have a wonderful day wherever you are, and if you've got a topic that you want me to discuss during the week, just shoot me through a message on Facebook and I'm happy to discuss anything about e-commerce. So have a great day. Speak to you soon. Bye.